You're alive. Well, you can play music whenever you want. That's no problem. All right. Greetings, everybody. Tommy Hawksblood here, calling from the big island of Hawaii. There's always lots going on here in Hawaii, as well as the rest of the world and the universe as well. So we're going to bring you bits of everything we can, everything we hear, find in the truth in the moment. We will put it up there. And I'm not just going to quote everybody else's story like so many people do, unless it's live mainstream events happening in the moment, which Tina will get into in a little bit. So please, I don't know if you see the banner. I don't see it, but if you want to get in touch with me for any of my books, it's hawksblood1aol.com. I'll give you that a couple times during the show, but please send this link to all your friends, everybody. I'm going to make this a lot bigger. I'm going to start bringing a couple more. We're going to have a couple more guests on as often as we can. I don't like to bring too many people that I don't know on, that I don't know is the truth. All right. So here's the thing. If we get started, you can go into the chat room, put your questions in there. We can bring them up and see what's going on. All right. As far as everything else, enjoy the show. Questions, please call in, check in, put them in the chat room. All right. I'll give it over to Tina. Greetings. How are you today?
Hello, Tommy. I'm fine here. My name's Tina Bird. I'm broadcasting here from the UK in Southampton. And you can find me on Hive. That's human individuals visited by extraterrestrials. There's some around my cups. And I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And I run a blog too on Facebook. And that's literally about Hive. That is literally about alien abduction. So if anyone wants to talk about alien abduction, would like any questions answered or asked, or if you want someone to turn to for help, I can put you in touch with some fabulous guys here in the UK, because there is no help for people that have been abducted here in the UK. So if you're genuinely serious and you want to contact me, you can contact me, ask a question. You can message me on my blog, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. We do a weekly show with encounters here with Tommy, and Tommy puts it on YouTube and it goes all over the world, and we have different guests on our show each week. And this week we'll be talking about, as it's come up for the holidays, something a little closer to home, maybe NASA. And NASA's finding more objects come into our universe each year. Well, within the same year now. It's the second object, I believe, this week that's come into our universe. So we're talking about that tonight. But hello everybody here in the UK, and hello everybody in Hawaii and across the USA. Tommy, hello.
All right. I want to, not pertaining to UFOs specifically, but I want to go into a quick story. About 22 years ago, I was about a foot away from a Bigfoot. All right. At that time, I wish I didn't run, but it was a nighttime, and I just went out for a walk. We put these, when we go out to do UFO stuff, we put this belt on with cameras and knives and staff and everything, and we go out and do our filming. But everything that I did was a spur of the moment. So I said, I'm going to just go outside and take a short walk before we get ready. And I'm walking up this trail, and I hear this squeaking sound. The day before, I saw the Hershey monkey. I don't know if anybody knows about that. It's an exclusive on the Montauk Project. And I was chasing it, and it ran right into a tree. But this following night, I was walking down. I hear the squeaking, and I thought that's what it was because I saw it the day before. And I started going into the trees, into the woods, and all of a sudden I felt this deep breathing, and I turned around, and it was a giant Bigfoot standing in back of me. It raised its leg. I didn't have no light, except the moon was out, so it was pretty bright, and I could see it. And it raised its leg, and it stamped on a log and just snapped it. I mean, it did smell pretty bad. But I did start running because I didn't have my camera, and I'm running back to the truck screaming, get the cameras out, get the cameras out. But I was assuming it would chase me. Don't ask me why, but it didn't. And when I got back to the truck, my friend and a scientist, Bruce Cornett, was sitting in the truck, and they wouldn't come out. I finally got
any animal that's going to sense something or smell something it doesn't like is going to run. It's not going to chase you. You frightened it.
No, it frightened me because it was standing, breathing down my back. And I turned around and looked up, and that's when it stamped on the ground and broke the log. But,
yeah, it's trying to defend its territory by the sound of it.
So by the interim, he didn't get out of the truck. Finally, he gets out, and then when he did, we heard screams for about 5 minutes on and off every minute from the Sasquatch. And then it was dead quiet for another 5 minutes. And then we heard all the wolves howling on the island. I'm not going to go into much more than that. But the reason why I brought it up, there's a new show on Sunday nights, and these people are in search of Bigfoot, but they're spending all kinds of money. They got the top of the line equipment. They got all kinds of specialists involved with this, and they got an analog of all the Bigfoot sightings around the United States since the beginning. And they ran it, and they said this is where it's most likely to be found, and that's where they went, and they're spending like 3 weeks there. But they got all kinds of equipment they're putting up. They already got it to talk back to them, and it's in a remote area. It's not like there's people out there or could even get out there. So I really feel this show, if you watch it, within probably the length of the show, they're going to show a Sasquatch or Bigfoot, whatever you want to call it.
Because you might have something there, because I know they do shows on TVs, and some of the ancient alien guys that are connected with that theory do TV shows. But recently, Tommy, there have been more and more collective or collated evidence from different people like yourself all over the world, saying that these creatures are being seen high up in mountains. They're within the same demographic. What's the best word for it? They're in the same demographic. They're found in the same demographic around the world. So the same mountain ranges around the world, like same heights and altitude and things like that. So there could be something to that. And also, I'm quite a fan, actually, believe it or not. I don't watch a lot of telly, but I've watched something similar recently on TV with Jim Vieira. Is it? He's him and his brother. Yeah. They do In Search of Giants, and they unravel bones and things like that. Now, there's a guy who read a book or stumbled across something and followed a passion. He backed it up. He got somebody who just takes somebody to believe you, to listen to you, followed it through with him, and they've got a terrific show, and they're digging it up, and he's determined to get evidence to back up what he's saying. So fair play to Jim Vieira, and like you say, because these creatures are so few and far between, it won't be long until they find one of them.
Well, witnesses, there's tons and tons of witnesses. Actual evidence, they've been collecting hairs for 25 years. And through science labs, they've been saying the hair has been bear, and then it goes down to elk and every other animal as well. But my suggestion is they need to realize they don't have a sample from a Bigfoot, knowing that it's a Bigfoot. So how do you compare something to something you don't have? You can't.
So hold on, I've got to ask you another question, because you're a man of the world, you're quite brainy. So just because I don't know, I'm just off the top of my head. Now, on exactly that same subject, so if someone said they had a bone from the Roswell crash from an alien, and they wanted people to believe them, we'll just put it on display, say, hi guys, look, we found this is a bone, this is an alien bone, we found it, we want to put it up on display to say, look, this is a step in our evolution, this is an alien bone. They've never tested an alien bone before, it doesn't match human DNA, so therefore it's an alien bone. Millions of people in the science world will then discount that, but then they could find a bone this big, this tiny big, but say it's nothing to do with the humans, but it's a human bone. It's from a different member of the family. We can't prove it. We've got this much of the bone. Even though you've got an alien skeleton, we've got this much of the bone and it's human. They could put it up and say, yes, look, this bone is called Lucy, and it's a part of our Denisovian chain or what have you. The area is accepted all around the world. But they can't accept a larger bone with proof that it's not related to human beings in any way at all, different DNA, and yet people in the science world can't accept it. So they dig both bones up at the earth. One, they just say, yes, it's a distant relative of human, but it doesn't consist of 100% human DNA. They've got another bone they dig up, a larger bone. It doesn't match human DNA. Now, why don't the science world accept that?
Well, see, here's the bottom line. Scientists don't want to come out and say that aliens are real. And they won't. Not until the government says they're allowed to do it. Now, the other thing is, like, even the giant skeletons. Obviously, it's not a copy of a human, but they'll say, like you'll say, it's our distant race of where we came from. But the problem with that is, I mean, even the ones with the giant heads, well, they try to assume that they tied every baby's head up to make it long and big and everything else. They'll say anything. If one story fits what they want to prove, they'll use that story, like having a child tie their skull up to make it pointy. Do you ever try to make any part of your body bigger? I mean, the Africans been putting those rings in their neck and stretching their neck.
Yeah.
They do that.
Are you on about head binding?
And they do a lot of things, but does that make them an alien? No. But when you get a creature, like you said, a skeleton, the bones are totally different. They found skeletons that look, and they'll say it was a disease that hit the child, a disease that hit the person. They'll say anything they can. But getting back to the DNA sample, the United States and probably Russia and China, all these other countries, can only deal with 12 strands of DNA. There's really 32 strands. They don't know what the rest of them are, but they all will refer to what race you come from, which they don't know because they can't compare it to that because they don't have it to compare it to. It's like, I'm going to compare a carrot to a spaceship. Well, what spaceship? I mean, what are you going to compare it to? You can't compare something to something else if you don't have it next to it and analyze it and do all the testing on that as well. So this whole thing about this Bigfoot, these people have top scientists involved. They're putting all their times into it as well. And just before you know it, they're going to analyze it and have the facts out there. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad for Bigfoot. I'm not one that says they're going to be here to help us, which they're not. Whether mankind's going to go out and start killing them, searching them. I mean, we're searching for them now. Anybody with a little money that has some spare time is going out there searching for a Bigfoot, searching for this, that, or the other thing. I just watched a 2-hour special of Loch Ness, and I couldn't realize how many people were involved filming and testing and analyzing the water and analyzing the pictures that were involved with that to this day, and they still can't prove it.
That's it. So, but they're scientists. They're scientists that have been allocated money. They're scientists that have done this off their own backs, that people that live there, but they want the truth. So they have had scientific data. They're saying, like, apart from the sightings, they're now saying that even though Loch Ness is so deep, at one time before the land closure, there's a link underneath the sea. So the probability is it could still be a prehistoric creature that comes in and out through the sea channel underneath the mountain mass, which was probably correct. You know, I'm a scientist, but they're there spending the money on that. Now, millions of people throughout thousands of years have seen objects in the sky. Why aren't they out there looking for proof? It only take one man to start a mountaintop for a night or two because you could see anything nowadays.
Well, just to show you, in the Loch Ness, this one guy spent 300 days watching that lake. 300 days. That's like a whole year. So, I mean, these people, they're not getting paid. The government doesn't pay people to go out and check out. I mean, when a scientist has a little extra money, they bring a submarine and they go into the Loch Ness. The first guy that went down there, the Loch Ness hit the submarine and knocked it. But to prove it, again, people say, well, that was could have been anything, could have been this. Everybody wants to downplay the truth, and they always will. Until a creature starts walking. I mean, if you watch the movie like Gorgo, I mean, when it starts walking to the arena to free the little baby, I mean, until something really happens to the world where they have to see it, they're not going to accept it. I mean, people accept it. People believe it. You have an experience, it changes your life.
Yeah.
I mean, you have multiple experiences. I mean, one person can have one experience. These people that said they saw this Loch Ness, it changed their life forever because now they know there's something else out there that we don't know. But they're still trying to say that it's a seal, it's this, it's that, and everything else under the sun. Traveling at this top speed, putting these ripples with all these humps in it. I mean, it's bizarre. Until I think it's not people. People are ready for the truth. The government's not. They're not ready for the truth. They don't want to believe in God. They don't want to believe in aliens. They don't want to believe. Well, they believe in aliens. They have to now, but they don't want it to come out public. So until they change, like psychiatrists have to accept that there's aliens and there's demons. Will that ever change? Because if you go to a doctor and say, I saw an alien, they can't let you go out publicly and say, we're going to let him collect the rest of his life because he saw an alien. but we're going to say he's crazy, and then we'll give him money for the rest of his life. Does that make sense? You know, if we prove aliens are real, people coming in saying they saw aliens, they're not going to be considered crazy anymore.
So, but you believe, so somebody could say they believe in God, and why aren't you crazy? Because you're believing in a figure that nobody's ever seen.
Well, see,
well, so why aren't they locking up all these people that say they believe in God in any religion? You're believing in a mythical being that has never been seen, and yet people speak to God. They're not locked up. People pray to God every day. You're praying to mythical buildings.
Now, I'll just slightly disagree with that statement. All right. Anybody can pray to God. Anybody can pray to Superman. When a person hears something back, which a psychiatrist will ask you, did God ever talk to you? If you say you did, like the person that wrote Conversation with God, he's not considered crazy. He's one of the richest people making tons of money off of his books. Everybody listens to him. He's one of the top speakers in the United States or around the world right now. And he says he talks to God, and God told him the common things that everybody that says they talk to God says, that, oh, we have to bring love into our life and not get attached to, and all the common things that everybody believes in. But here's the problem with that. There are a few people that saw God, not didn't see God, that actually been in the realm where God dwells. And the only reason why I could say that, I have been one of those people. So there are a few souls that get to meet or go into the realm where God dwells.
I agree with that. There's different spiritual levels within anybody. I think we don't know the human being's full potential or what lies within us. I have to agree with that. I know I bash things a lot and say things, but that is absolutely true, Tommy. I think that you're right on the head there. You hit the hammer on the head.
In the Bible, Paul never saw Jesus physically. He met with him in an experience, and his whole thing's written on that experience. So the 2.4 billion people believe his story. That's a big percentage of the planet. So why do they believe his story of a vision versus a person that has an experience? And then, oh, he's crazy. People don't accept anything from the past as far as spiritual. I mean, it's, oh, well, that was this, and they downplay it. Well, the pyramids were created by aliens. And then they say, you know, we're here for the truth. You and me, we're trying to bring the best information we can out. And the truth is, when we talk about aliens, why are they here? Who built the pyramids? Why did they really build the pyramids? And I challenge people, it's not a spiritual person that builds a pyramid. Nothing physical connects you to the spiritual realm. We believe it and we want to believe it. And I don't consider the astral plane the spiritual realm. And all psychic energies come from that realm. And that realm merges with this reality. The astral plane is actually merging much greater than it ever did in the past since 1950, since we screwed up the vortex in between that. So here's the problem. We got these people dealing with aliens. We got these people dealing with ghosts. We got these people dealing with spirits. We got these people dealing with angels. And nobody believes each other. You know, until we can accept that all of it's real, whether we get into that realm, perceive it, or can touch that realm, doesn't mean it's not real. But trying to force people to say that it's not real or it's delusional and everything is what the government does, which is so sad. In other words, we are locked into a program and they don't want us out of it. I mean, if these rich people, I mean, there's a rich person, he's going to put his own ship in space and everything else. So he has the right to do that. Nobody can stop him. So now Bigelow, one of the richest people in the United States, is putting all these space stations up in space. Now, Elon Musk, whatever his name is.
Elon Musk.
He's rich, obviously, and he's putting, how many satellites he put up 2 weeks ago? He put up 60 satellites. He's planning on putting, I think, 1,200 up in a very near future. His goal is to make the internet work around the world, which means it'll intensify 5G. 5G will affect everybody real soon. It went into effect on my birthday a couple days ago, and now we're going to start looking at serious problems to a person's brain. So now the whole alien world, what their place in that is, I don't think too many people care. I mean, they just want the aliens to come here and help us. But help us what? We keep creating things that destroy our world. And I can't say they're not part of it, because they are.
So
Whatever race.
would you want to visit? So if you were an alien, right, would you want to visit our planet? I wouldn't. There's not a
Well,
day goes by that we're not
well,
blowing something up, killing
well,
someone, eating animals, poisoning the world. Would you really want to visit that? And would you want us visiting you? No.
here's the thing. No. Take it to a different level. Okay, it's Christmas or Thanksgiving coming up, and you're rich, and you say, where do we want to spend Thanksgiving? Do you want to go to Biafra, or a country that's starving to death, to go out for dinner? And what do you want to eat when you go out to dinner? Well, I want lobster. All right. What if you're sick and tired of eating whatever they eat on these planets? Peas, beans, whatever, plants, or whatever, cats, dogs, whatever creatures they have. Or maybe they live on air. I mean, we have Aryans here that live on air for about a year at a time.
Maybe they live on amino acids from the gut.
But energy is also, I mean, you could live on energy from the sun, and it can help you live pretty much without food. So yeah, they can live a lot of ways, but they don't. They like eating, just like I do. So if you want to go out for dinner and get some wide choices of variety of food, black, white, yellow meat, you come to planet Earth. I mean, you're not coming here to look at the planet. You're not coming here to help us become anything better than what we are. But if you like going out to dinner on this planet, and to them it's a short hop, skip, and a jump. So they come here and they eat. And I mean, people don't want to face the facts. They come here to build pyramids to what? Shoot beams up to their planet? Why? I mean, all the work and all the time that they put in these TV shows, all these ignorant people go on and on about their ideas of what's what and what's what. Take it to the most realist level. Why? And what is your reason for the why? If you can't make sense of your why, you're probably wrong. Food is the only thing every creature that has a human body or an active physical body needs. They don't need love. They don't need compassion. They don't need school. They don't need anything else. They don't even need a house. They don't need a car, but they need to eat. So all these things that they spend and brainwash people into believing about pyramids and even, I mean, crystals are important when you learn to work with crystals, but there's different things you can do with them and different things you can't do. Selling, I mean, one person selling a crystal rod and saying it's a dream filler. You wish on it and gives you your dreams, and he sells it for a couple $100. I mean, okay, you're stupid enough to buy it. That's your problem. But reality is, we want things without the energy to put into it. We want the world to change. You don't put energy into a world that's not changing it to make a change. I said, you can pray all you want. Like you said, that people pray to this and pray to that. It never helped anybody, ever. So where we go with prayers, you can pray if you want to, but it's not going to change your reality. Action. So you want to find out about aliens? Start checking, follow them. The only thing that most people know about aliens is ships go over our planet, or sometimes they crash it. They don't know anything else really about that. I know you do. And you can go on. We'll get into that again. We'll let you do part of the show with that, because people need to know what abduction is. It's not an invitation to go on a joyride and have a free dinner and see the universe. No. And why would they pick you to do that? I mean, it's like most people die with their experience. It's not like they change the world. They don't change reality. They change themselves because now they know there's something different. Not that it's better. The same as if you meet with a deity, it changes your reality about the inner worlds. I mean, all those little things leaving your body.
That's rung a bell with me again. It's like people say, "Oh, you're a believer. You're one of them." I'm like, being abducted is not a religion, right? Let's just make this clear. Being abducted is not a religion, people. You are believe. What the hell is believe? No, it's real and it's happening. Do you believe you watch the telly? Do you believe you go to work? No, you actually do these things. So again, abduction is not a religion. It's not about belief. You believe in fairy tales? No. Do you believe you're going to get paid? Yes, because you work for that. Being abducted is about being taken from your home, from an unknown being or entity taking you against your will. That is abduction. Abduction is real. People go to prison for that, but beings or unknown beings come to this planet and take human beings against their will. That is abduction. That is happening. It's not religion. It's a fact of life.
Yeah, that's 100%, because the new word they use is an experiencer. That means in their mind, the alien said, "Hey, hi, how are you? Let's go to my planet, or let me take you somewhere." It's the dream world. Not one of these people, not one of them, has any proof. Their stories are incredible, and they get better and better. About You can name 50 million galaxies. I could name 10 of them. Quadruple in the next realm over, and then you get the Beanie Bops over in the next world over. You can say anything you want, but does that make it real? Well, I went there. Really? So, proof, if you're going to spread this story, I mean, now Tina has one of the most elaborate stories of abduction than anybody else out there in the UFO world.
Yep.
Travis Walton is one of the other few people who had witnesses around him when it happened. And all those things make the story much more believable. Even though mass hypnosis, you can hypnotize people and make them all believe the same thing. But on the bottom line is, when you have a piece of evidence, like an implant and things like that, like Tina will go into the stories of what happened to her, things that don't normally happen to anybody on this planet, and things like that. So, the story is up to the person to make it real or not. If you're going to make it exaggerated, it'll take away from it, like Billy Myers did. He had an important story, but when he made his own little ship and started filming it as a UFO, he took away his credibility. Now, I've been with Tina for a while. I trust her totally. That's why I'm doing a show with her. If I didn't believe in her, trust her, and know that she's real, she wouldn't be on my show. I don't bring fake people on. I don't talk to fake people. I don't care how great their story is. Like, I was hoping my friend would come on, but I don't see him. Let me just check. Inflow you. Hold on. Somebody's coming in. Hold on. Let me see who it is. Hello? I don't know who it is. I don't see him.
Hello.
But yeah. Hello. Who do I have?
Mr. Leon Bishop.
Greetings. How are you?
I'm doing good. How you been?
All right. Where are you located?
I'm in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. So, did you have a question, or you want to say something?
No, not really. I'm listening to your talk. I do have an issue with prayer not being effective, because contemplation is actually prayer, and contemplation works.
That's true.
Well, contemplation works. Prayer works for some people, but it doesn't work for most people. People pray for world peace. They have been praying for thousands of years, and it never happened. People pray that they don't die. They die. People pray that people don't die, and they die. I mean, prayer is...
Okay, let me ask you this. How do you travel to other planets, other galaxies?
I don't travel into this galaxy. I travel into the inner world that Jesus spoke about.
Right. And how are you doing that?
Well, you close your eyes, you open the gate, you meet your angels, and you travel.
You're contemplating.
That's
what you're doing.
Body. I had death experiences. My body was dead. I had 5 death experiences, and I don't think too many people can say that.
You were still contemplating, no matter how you want to call it.
You can say what you want. When your body dies, the mind doesn't exist.
Okay, I'm done arguing. Bye.
Goodbye.
Thank you for calling.
Well, we get some people that have their truth, especially religionists.
I think contemplating. I think he was. I think it was like contemplating in prayer. I can understand that, but how do you get to another world where you step into a spacecraft? There's plenty taken off from NASA. I'm sure I'd be a bit worried if I got into a spacecraft from NASA and the pilot was saying in prayer. I would be a bit worried. But everyone, a prayer is about belief. If you choose to believe in prayer, then that works for people, then fine. I'm not bashing that. I'm just saying it doesn't work for me. And as far as I can see, what I've seen, aliens don't believe in God, and I think they laugh at us for that. But I am a human being, and there's something more inside of us, and we just don't know enough about that. That I agree with.
Well, I study religions for a part of my life. I mean, prayer gives people satisfaction that they're doing something, that they're really helping themselves, helping the world. People pray for the world. People pray, give unconditional love to the world. Does it help the world really? We're in the worst condition we have ever been in. People are praying about this, that. Well, what religion? What God do you pray to? We got multiple religions here that pray to different gods. I don't think too many people pray to the same God or what they expect from God itself. But when we say that it's going to answer our questions, everybody would be rich. Everybody would be happy if prayer worked. Everybody. People wouldn't die if prayer worked. A lot of things would be different.
I'm going to pray to be rich tonight, so I expect to win the Euro Millions tonight here in the UK. So I'll let you know tomorrow if it works. But I also pray, if I go right, who prays to be abducted? I didn't. I never did. And when I was a child, I was always, taught to believe and respect in people's religions, which I do, But contemplating or prayer, that people don't contemplate or want to be abducted. And if you do, I think then you do need to see a psychiatrist, because believe you me, being abducted is the most horrifying experience, very scary experience that anybody, not just me, will experience in your whole lifetime. I can't tell you how that affects you, but I can tell you that I'm not the only one.
Oh, that guest that was on, I just read his name. It's Light of You, H-U.
Yeah.
I don't know. He could have been in a religion I was in called Ekankar. I was in it for a long time. But even there's so many flaws to that religion that I left it. So, people want to believe their truth. That's fine. But if you want to go out into the world and bring something out there, you have to bring the truth. You can't bring anything you were told or believe in. It has to be true to what you actually experience.
Yeah. So how do you apply that to aliens then? Do you think aliens pray and contemplate, oh, we're just going to see Tommy Hawksblood tonight, let's go over and see how Tommy's doing? If they did that, then they'd make themselves known, wouldn't they? They would make themselves known.
Life is about creating what you want to do. You can create things in the physical reality. You can't create things in the spiritual reality until you get to that level of awareness and change reality. You can't bring that reality into this world, because here's the thing I'll say, and sorry, UFO people, sorry, religionists, there's nobody spiritual here. Oh, we're spiritual. Why? Because you care about other people? That makes you spiritual? So God has to care about you, and that makes God spiritual? You think God is spiritual when he kills and allows a city to be destroyed? He's a loving being? The concept of God that man has is so twisted and so programmed, they don't want to know a real God. So when they talk about prayer, you don't pray. If you know God knows you're there, you don't have to tell him what to do.
I'm in full agreement, Tommy, because if you apply the religions and everything you've just said to being abducted, so if I was to walk into, say, I'm not just going to pick on any religion, I went into a centre where they practice religion, and I said, you're praying and you're doing this, where would I stand saying, well, where is my God then, or where is the person that's protecting me? Where is is this my life plan to I'm live on Airbo. They believe, all these people will be in there believing and worshipping, and again in something or someone they've never seen or believed. How would that, but they would all look at me and say, you're crazy. I'll be crazy, what, because I've been abducted and they haven't?
See, like you, like me, we started having our experiences when we were young. It opened your vision, it opened your awareness. Most people don't have that happen. So they're given this little box to live in, and that's where they live. They don't know how to step outside of that box because nobody told them. Easy, stop it. There's a truck outside. But here's the thing. We experience certain things that very few people do. So does that make us crazy to other people? Yeah, because, well, I didn't experience it. And like, I know you say it, but a lot of people say, well, there's no such thing as God because you didn't see it. That there's no such thing as Bigfoot because you didn't see it. There's no such things as demons because you didn't experience one. I mean, we hide from the truth because we didn't experience it. When you experience it, you can't hide from it. Like, I'm doing a book on rape. I mean, people have no clue what it means, what it does to a person. You can't tell somebody what that is until you experience it. If I didn't go through abuse when I was little, I wouldn't understand it at all. And I would say, well, it's just. No, it's a lot more than just. It becomes part of a reality that
So
you
this
live
is
in.
it. So rape victims get support, they get understanding, and it's a terrible thing to happen to anyone, abuse, male, female, man, woman, or child, anybody. But there's a justice system for that. If I said I was abducted, who the hell is taking down my evidence? Who the hell is running tests on me? Who the hell is giving me support? Who the hell is out looking for these perpetrators doing this? Absolutely nobody.
Oh, my partner says she loves you. But you know,
I love you too.
till I give you the back. See, the problem is, even rape in the United States, it's downplayed. They're trying to make it like, oh well, so what? You
It is
know,
all around the world, Tommy.
they
No.
force a girl, to the limit of proving whatever happened. 90% of the time, it gets dropped, it gets bought out, or just erased because they don't want to go any further. They don't want to prove it. The girl gives up. It's just sad. And now, when you deal with something supernatural to some people, or something interdimensional, or just out of this world, it becomes a bigger issue to prove. And these people don't want to go that far.
And yeah, so it's like, again, we go back to causality. So Tommy, right, you robbed a bank last night, or Rob robbed a bank, right? Just supposing Lloyd's Bank down the road, sorry, I didn't mean to mention any particular name, just off the top of my head, the bank down the road gets broken into by a person who looks like me. Now, there's no CCTV, but 5 people, different orientations, are walking up and down the road and see somebody who looks like me. The next thing I know, the next morning, the police come to me and said, we're arresting you, Tina. We're going to take you in the police station. 2 days later, I'm in court because they've got 5 eyewitnesses that all say, nope, it was Tina. She robbed the bank. And the judge says to me, Tina, did you rob the bank? And I'm going to say, no. Now, just because there was 5 people that wasn't in my room to say that I've been abducted, there's no video evidence. It's just that they're hearsay. They're given a description of someone that looks like me, a female human being. It could be one of 5 million people in the world. Now, why they believed over me? Now, if I had 5 people sleeping in the room with me every single night, I would be believed. And if that has happened and I've had members of my family or someone to give evidence on my behalf, why am I then not believed to say that I've been abducted?
You have a witness even. So that, that changes it. But again, who listens? Who do you talk to that wants to know the truth about it?
So
Now,
one side, so it depends on what side of position of the fence you're actually sitting on to look at.
well, let me just tell you this, Tina, and this takes it to a higher level. Soul's here not for the programs that we get here. It's to learn that these programs are just living in the matrix. You're part of a matrix that goes around in circles over and over until you decide to get out of it. You play that game. Until you realize it's a game, you'll be stuck with, oh, is this real? Is that real? Are they love me? Do they love me? Do I love them? And all the little games that go on, holding you in the matrix. I mean, the Matrix was a good movie if you relate it to reality. And when we deal with aliens and creatures, what are they here for? What are they alive for? To come here to bug us and eat us? I mean, is that the only thing that they're here for?
Take DNA.
As long as you believe reality is important, the reality that we live within, the physical reality, is important, you'll stay in it. It's simple. It's not complex. So when you decide that you have to be, I don't know if you consider it forced out by spirit or somewhere in your subconscious, it's saying this has to go, it has to be better than this. And then you have an experience. But until that happens in one's life, they're not going to know the difference. I mean, they could say they believe it. If you never had love in your life, you can't say you understand what it means or what it is. Only until you have it can you start to understand it. Still doesn't make it really important, but it's a starting point to start on your own awareness of what you deal with. So for you personally, I keep asking you how you're doing with your physical body, because I
I
know
look terrible. I mean, I do apologise. Got a cold.
And here's something people don't talk about. Now, when you get taken on a ship, really, You put in a ship, you're traveling in space and wherever they hang out, you're exposed to radiation. Anybody, anything is. So here's the problem. When people come back, even in space, the space shuttles, when they come back, they got to go into decontamination rooms for 2 weeks and get decontaminated. And they find out how bad they are and everything else. So, I mean, they line the ships with certain things. They have spacesuits on. Now that they don't have to wear spacesuits in the ship, they line the ship with certain things to protect them. But when you're in somebody else's ship, do you think they care if you get exposed to radiation and they're going to protect you? Well, let's inject them. So, I mean, I heard stories. I'm not going to talk about them too much because I don't know how real they are or how important they really are to this reality. If the story is real, it's important. But if the story is a lie, it's useless. And I can't prove it. So I really don't want to go into it. All I'll say, I know a person that was involved with a group of scientists that said they go to Venus. And they're put in a special suit. They're injected so they can travel at that speed. That's all I can say about it. I can't say I believe it 100%. But for us as people, like what you're saying, you have proof. You have much more proof than anybody out there. Whether they want to listen, well, she's just a woman, which is an excuse for some people, or she's dreaming, or this, that. No, we have to respect each other and look at a person, see where they're coming from. I mean, do you want to become rich and famous just because you got a stupid story? No, I don't. I mean, there's people that do. I mean, in the UFO world, these speakers that come out, the better the story is, the more money they can make. They can go live and say they worked on 20 aliens and they operated on them and all this stuff, and they went to 20 different worlds and planets with these different races. They can say whatever they want, but not funny. Not one of them has any solid proof. So if it's a physical thing, which it is, being abducted, and you get on a ship, if you could just grab one of their scalpels or grab one of their jackets or just grab one of their fingers or nails, anything from them, or anything, and come back with it, it would be something that nobody else has.
But then how do you prove you got that off an alien spacecraft?
Oh, no. Once they analyze this fingernail or the finger and say, hey, we can't make it. One guy I brought on my show twice.
Yeah, but hold on, Tommy. But they have that now. They have bones they're digging up, like I'll get back to earlier. They've got bones they're digging up. They're not human. What are they? And because you don't have proof.
But they're digging them up here. I mean, if the ship crashed, which when it does, they take the aliens and you never see them again.
Well, what happened? What happened to all the aliens that have crashed here before mankind were here?
Well, they're still
in the earth.
Well, you know, I don't think they've always been more advanced than we have. Their technology, their ships didn't crash accidentally. They were shot down. Big difference. Now, the 3 ships that crashed in Roswell were shot down. Remember, in 1952, a fleet of ships went over the White House twice in 1 week. The government said they have to prepare for that. Truman and Eisenhower both knew it, both were aware, and both created the space army that Mr. Trump has came out and said. So it's been there, and it's been active. And then Majestic 12 is created to make sure none of that information leaks to the public. So, yeah, it's a chain. And it's
so that makes me laugh. So these aliens, then, they have this. The Majestic 12 in England, in America, wherever it is. Sorry. So the Majestic 12 are in charge of this. So there's human beings, human men, greedy companies in charge of all this, keeping all this from the public. Okay. But then the alien beings are abducting people and telling them, they're showing us technology, they're taking us to planets in one night or a couple of hours, things that are humanly impossible, but aliens can do them. But the human beings don't want you to know, but the aliens are showing us this. So that's a bit of a conflict of interest, surely.
Well, now for me, very few people were given anything really important. All right. But I will say this. Tesla was given the most important information ever in history since the beginning of time. Now, his technology, parts of it are coming out for cars and energy. But the weapons the government has are the most dangerous weapons which they're playing with on the planet. So when they gave this technology to Mr. Tesla, they knew what was going to happen with it. Tesla's last words when he was alive says, mankind's not going to be ready to use what I gave them, which they're not, and they're going to use it wrongly. A car that drives itself is not beneficial to the human race, not to the human race. So to a company that wants to deliver their packages and not pay anybody, it's useful, but to the people that deliver it, it's not useful. So it's a technology, all right, which is going to destroy the planet. Why they gave Tesla a hard time, Bell was trying to bring out electricity they could charge money for, and all those things. It became a battle of money, and everything to this day is only about money. It's not about protection. It's not about purification. It's not about healing and all those words we need to our bodies, to the planet. It's about destruction and making more money. So again, what race that has any kind of a brain with awareness would let it happen? The earth is being destroyed. The oceans are being destroyed. The dolphins, the whales, the creatures, everything's being destroyed. And they're sitting there saying, oh, well, okay, let's see what they do next. No, they know what we're going to do next. They created time travel, which they gave to Tesla in 1947. All right, Tesla had it. He created this whole technology for it to happen. But he was given it. He just didn't go to school and came out of school with a formula and said, here's how to travel. And then to create a device to make it happen. So it was given to us for a reason. Now, the problem, again, aliens are ignorant. You don't give somebody the ability to go back in the past to change the past. Imagine somebody with a time machine goes back past creation, past the time when the first alien was created, and destroys them so that they're not created. When you play with that, you are playing God in this reality. So to put a device like that into this reality, which was the Philadelphia experiment, changed our reality, which it did. The government cannot change what they already did because they already changed history. Now, what these aliens do, and I'm saying they do this a lot. There's a word which my friend had. We don't have too much time. Out of place artifact, meaning something that's here in the present moment that can't exist. All right. Now, who put it there? I say aliens go back and forth and put things wherever they want them. They can make us believe. Now, Billy Myers came out of a cave with what he called the Tower of Jamad, and he said it was the written by Judas. And at the same within those 2 years, another actual book that was found was Judas's translation as well. But his translation was Judas was an alien. Jesus was an alien. Sorry. But again, that was implanted, and he found it. Why did he find it? He said everybody that he would try to give it to was killed, and he released half of the book, which was the Town of Jamad. You could still get it from Billy Myers. The problem is they create what they want us to believe, the same as they did when Atlantis went down. They fed us programmed ideas, but when they slip in the wrong device because they're not spiritually aware, when they give us the ability to do time travel, which one alien race gave to Tesla. Not all alien races decided to give it to Tesla. One race did. And when he took it the giant step forward to where we use it, and I'll tell you this, we have used it for 2 major wars we had in space. All right. It has to do with teleportation as well. So Tesla was responsible for all that. So why did they give it to us? Because we went on their ship and stopped the battle before it happened. So there's a lot of things that not being spiritually aware and playing with weapons, which the government has, can only bring the downfall of the world and the human race. So we have a serious problem here. How do we fix it? I don't think we can. But Spirit knows what we create and knows how we're going to destroy it. And that's why, if you believe in revelations or don't believe in prophecy, there is something going to happen. So I just got a text. You can say something, please. Let me just check, see what this person wanted. All right. So We don't have much time. Let me just check. I didn't even check the questions. No more lies, no more deceit. Well, that's really important. I mean, people brought up Catholic. I mean, I was brought up Protestant, and I became Catholic, and then I went through 14 other religions. We have to realize religion is a program. Spirituality comes from within, if you could ever touch it. Truth comes from within, not without. And when you think somebody's going to give you the truth, like an alien race, he came. Somebody wanted to come in, but he came in a little too late. It'll be next Tuesday. Yeah, before I forget, next Tuesday it'll be Christmas Eve. I will have Sergeant 18 on with me. We'll be doing a Christmas show. Questions, answers. We'll try to get into some things before we take too many questions. But we're going to open up the new year with the whole train of thought that between him and me. We don't exactly agree on everything. Some things we do. So it'll be an interesting show if everything happens and goes okay by then. Tina, you're welcome to Skype and get on by cell phone if you want. Get in. I'm going to be doing it to probably be a 2-hour show at least. It depends how Christmas goes and what's happening during Christmas. If the world's still here and everything else is functioning the same. But you never know what tomorrow brings. And when people say, well, I'm psychic, really? How come nobody can project 2 minutes in what's going to happen? So we're in a place where everybody knows everything, thinks he knows everything, and don't want to know the truth. So that's where we're at. So, Tina, what are your farewell words? You don't want to go longer, do you?
No. So my farewell, tonight? Well, my farewell words for tonight are goodbye. But no, I think we raise a lot of issues, and more people need to come forward, and they need to understand that, where we're coming from. We're not knocking people. We're not making stuff up. It's the other side of the fence, what people should know, what people don't see. But for me here in England, I've been Tina Bird on Encounters Are Here tonight with Tommy. And you can find me on Hive. That's Human Individuals Visited by Extraterrestrials. I don't know if I've done that right. And that's on Facebook. I run a blog. You can find me on YouTube, not YouTube. You can find me on everything else, all the electronic stuff. But hopefully I'll try and make it next week from England for the show. But if not, it might be the week after. So I wish you all happy Christmas and a good 2020 to come. And I look forward to seeing everybody and hearing from you in the new year. And from me here in the UK, Tina Bird, I wish you all a good evening. And over to you, Tommy.
All right, I just want to reply to something that was in the chat room. Yes, I know everything, everything that I'm supposed to know. The Vatican is based on the Pope. The Pope is involved with aliens as well, programmed. He's destroying the Catholic religion. But don't forget, the Catholic people, the Vatican, has the most biggest telescope on the planet as of right now.
They believe in aliens. I've actually been to the Vatican.
We talk about that, but they don't deal with aliens in a good way. And the Pope is definitely not beneficial to the human race. He's slowly destroying the Catholic religion, which is maybe a plan why he's in the air. We'll see what happens with that. But what was the other thing? Getting back to Reiki. Reiki is an alien technology. Yes, it was given, but it's not a beneficial thing. Reiki is as useless as medicine. I mean, the only way a person heals is being in touch with their soul, body, and they could heal anything if they want to. If they need to stay here, healing is healing to make you stay here. Why would you want to stay here? Well, I got to do more things. Doing more things here doesn't help you spiritually, and nobody understands that. I'll get into that. I'm doing a workshop very soon. There's a lot of things that people really need to look at, because thinking that, well, I learned how to build a house today. I learned how to make beer today. I learned how to kick the can. I mean, what do you learn while you're here? What do you learn about God, spirit, death, and soul? Nothing. Unless you have a death experience or out-of-body experience, which opens the door for you to become aware of that. So please, everybody, I don't know if you see a link of banner going flying somewhere along the bottom. It should have been, but it's probably not. If you want to get in touch with me on my books, Hawksblood1, AOL.com, HAWKSBLOOD1, number 1 at AOL.com. I send my first 2 books out free if you're interested as an ebook. My other books are out there mainstream. My most important book is The True Teachings of Jesus from God Realization. I also have a file on how to see a UFO. If you're interested in that, please. This is for real. I'm not playing games. Tina's not playing games. We're not here to make money. We're not here to make you believe in the fantasies or even the future. We're in the present. What can we do now? What will make our lives better or worse? What can we do to be part of this reality and be a useful participant in it? And that's what we all should learn. Seeing a UFO, is it going to help you? It might help you be aware that you need to do a little more about learning what's real and what's not, or just living life through religion or whatever you believe is true. Find the truth behind it. With that, we're just about out of time. Please send this link to everybody you know for the next week. And like I said, tell them to tune in next week. Sargel 18 is the top UFO photographer in the United States, has always been. And hopefully we're going to see so much more coming from him in the near future. So with that, till next time, peace, love, compassion, whatever you need and want in your life, may it come to you. Bye, Tina. It's always
Bye.
a pleasure.
And you, Tony. Bye. Merry Christmas. Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas, everybody. If I don't ever hear from you again, I hope you enjoyed what you got. Please do. Peace.
Bye.